Welcome, family, our Brooklynites family. How are you? Happy holidays to you. We are in this beautiful establishment, Salon Leahing, 732 Washington Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, between Prospect Place and Vanderbilt Avenue. Well, family, we're here today with Catherine, and we're going to talk about keeping our money circulating in the Black community because we do make close to $1 billion throughout the United States. And we need to keep that in our community so everybody gets a chance to interact with the energy of money. So, with that being said, please think about that. Think about that. Matter of fact, what's his name? Kaba? His name is Kaba?
Kaba Hiawatha
Right.
Khomeini is going to be at Nicholas Books on Sunday with Professor James Small, and they're going to be talking about using the Kemetic wisdom of ancient Africa in modern times and how we can reconnect with our power and our ancient wisdom. And what he was saying is that the wisdom is ancient. It comes from Africa. The African people are the first on the planet. Other people came along and adopted it, but along the way they lost the power and the spirituality, or maybe they chose that. But he was talking about coming back to the roots and understanding the energy that we have within ourselves, within our community. And money is really just an expression of energy. And that's kind of my perspective on it. So you can think, some people say money is the root of all evil, but money is just energy. It's neutral. So that means we can imbue our resources with loving care and move with purpose and begin to bring our resources back. Because if you look at other communities, the European American communities, the Jewish community, the Arab community, even the Latin community, they tend to work with each other. They hire each other. They go to each other's stores and shops. They invest in each other's business, and that allows them to build exponentially into larger and larger resource. Because think of it as a power. It's like you plug a wire into the wall to give light or to make things work. That's what money is. It's just the energy. And if we are to build ourselves and our capacity, we have to be willing to bring that energy back into our communities so that the stores and the shops can thrive. And when they're thriving, they're able to circulate that back out into the community. So it becomes a supportive effort so that we can be more self-sustaining. And this is especially true in a world where resources are being hoarded by the 1%. A lot of people think, oh, there are no resources. There are resources. It's just who's getting it, who's benefiting from it. And we have, maybe this is my opinion, but I see the Black community, the African American community, very much invested into kind of this fashionista economics. So we'll spend hundreds of dollars for a pair of sneakers, we'll spend a lot of money on what we wear, being able to put wear other people's names on our lapel. Excuse me. And I think that we would benefit very much by supporting each other, because that circulates more resources into the community, in the sense that businesses can maybe hire more people. And also, if we are spending less money in this kind of corporate fashionista world trying to make an impression, that money can circulate several times within the Black community. And I think that other people understand this more than, I would say, those of us who come through the African American culture. We tend to be less about understanding business and understanding how to build, because we have been, in many ways, steered in a direction other than that. And, it's understandable. I think that African American people are very fly, very creative, very humorous. We come up with global culture, really. If you look at hip hop, they're doing hip hop in Japan and all over the world. If you look at breakdancing, breakdancing now has become part of the Olympics. If you look at the cultures and the creativity that arises really out of controversy, it's a part of the survival instinct to maintain that creativity and that growing. But the way things have occurred is that other people have profited from the creativity of the African American community, because you can go into gospel, you can go into jazz, you can go into hip hop, you can go into R&B. Everyone adopts the culture and profits, but the source of that creativity tends to languish in poverty. And part of that is because there isn't the education to understand how to build businesses and how to have that mindset, rather than trying to impress each other with a fancy label. We should really bring that energy back and say, you know what? I want the grocery store on the corner to prosper, so I'm going to go there. Like the SALON LEAHIng, it's a beautiful Black-owned business. People can come here. If you look even in the media landscape, there are so many young Black people of all origins, really, coming from many different cultures. They're being squeezed out of the corporate system, and they're endeavoring to make a living online. I think that those of us who have resources of money or energy should follow these young people and watch their videos and allow them to have some wealth coming out of that system, because the overall culture is squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and I think has always worked towards steering people into desperation and poverty. But we don't have to do that. We don't have to stay in that place. We don't have to walk around feeling victims of oppression and racism. We just need to, in my opinion, step away from those platforms, those people, those businesses that refuse to offer respect. And I say refuse because obviously they love our creativity enough to steal it, but they just don't want to give credit for it. And those things that are very, very vibrant are very often twisted. So I just think we need to start re-navigating back into nurturing ourselves. And it's a lot related to the healing of self-care. You know, as individuals, we have to understand how to care for ourselves, how to keep our bodies healthy and clean from the inside out. We have to be able to bring our energy into our own businesses or into whatever creative endeavor. It might be an artist, it might be a musician, but we have also a lot of very creative scientists and builders and manufacturers. And I think it's an opportunity for us to bring that money, circulate it back to the communities we live in, the communities which we identify with as family and culture. And I think as we support each other, everyone will rise into a better state. And granted, there's always going to be people that need help, but we would be in a position to help if we are truly supporting each other as a measure of supporting ourselves.
I agree. I do agree. Professor Kaba says something very, very interesting that I have to give him kudos to what he said. He said that history erases the mystery. All right. So, family, if you drill down on that for a minute, history erases the mystery. And so, once you know who you are, then you know whose you are. And so, we have to start to drill down on who we are as a people, as spirituality, and where we want to go. Our communities. I'm talking specifically about Brooklyn, New York. And I imagine if we in this United States of America and our communities will support other Black businesses through the United States, that will be very powerful. So we're here starting this movement out here in Brooklyn to support our Black-owned business. I'm hoping that California will do that, will follow suit. And if we can connect, they did it in Black Wall Street, which is Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. So it's a difficult task, but it can be done if everybody is responsible for their own region and their own community, their tribe. So here in Brooklyn, we're doing this, that we're going to support our own Black businesses throughout New York State, basically throughout Brooklyn. We're going to do that, and hopefully somebody in Manhattan will take the lead for Manhattan. We're taking the lead for Brooklyn. Hopefully somebody will take the lead for California, Los Angeles. Somebody will take the lead for San Bernardino and other places throughout the United States, and start supporting Black businesses, because we spend at least close to $1 trillion. And if you look at our community, it does not mirror that. So why not support each other? Why not allow the dollar to be able to stay in our community at least 10 times before it leaves the community? So we're here in Brooklyn, and we're asking all Brooklynites to come out and support your Brooklyn business. Support Salon Leahing at 732 Washington Avenue. We need people to be mindful going into 2025. And we're not here doing it for this, the entire United States. We're not talking about that. We're just talking about where we where we have impact. We have impact, us here in Salon Leahing, we have impact in Brooklyn. So yes, we're going for Brooklyn. We're going to support Brooklynites, Black-owned business, and hopefully people will follow suit. Hopefully somebody will follow suit in California. I used to live in California. And so hopefully California, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, San Francisco, they all have different pockets of different communities that they can support. And if that money can circulate throughout the United States, then that means something, because we don't know. 2025, they're talking about taking away the diversity, equity, and inclusion. I don't know if we ever were included in anything at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, we have to now start supporting our moms and pop stores, our Black-owned business. And I know it's going to take some time, but we have to be, one of the things I think is principle. We do have to be, you have to be, have some principle behind it. And also sacrifice comes into my heart as well. We have to sacrifice. Hopefully that we will be able to sacrifice, and $1 trillion that we spend through the year in the United States will come back to our community. That's very easy, because we'll circulate our community before it leaves. All dollars must leave, but once they circulate, everybody has a chance to get involved and make a footprint within their own communities, build other stores, build other entities within their own community. And so with that being said, we were able to, well, we're going to try this in Brooklyn. We're able to get people who can teach our kids and start from the grassroots. And in order to do that, they're going to need to, we're going to need to have the money circulate throughout our community so they can get paid. So with that being said, family, I'm asking the melanated communities through the United States of America, look at your own community, make an investment in your own community, start developing I wouldn't say prideful, but being powerful with your money, because your money is your currency. Your money is your energy. It is currency, it is energy. And once you're able to circulate that dollar, that bill throughout your communities, you become very powerful. You're asking, it's no more really asking, because the dollar is there, the energy is there. So you're telling, well, we need this, we need that. And so family, if you get anything from this, please take this. Start supporting your neighborhood melanated store owners, business, salons, barbershops, and etc. Support them, because we need the money to circulate throughout our community. And that's where we get our power. That's where we get 10 toes down, where we're standing up on our own. And so it is a privilege to come out and talk to my community here in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm hoping that the Californians will also step into this fray and come out and support their own communities in California, in Memphis, in Massachusetts, in Boston, wherever. But Chicago as well. We're looking out for you, Chicago. And it's going to take some time, but it's doable. Nothing is impossible once you believe it. If you disbelieve it, or if you're standing on shaky grounds, then it becomes impossible. But if you believe in your heart that you're doing the right thing, and you believe that you want to get this, you want to have money circulating throughout our community, it's not impossible. But you have to believe it. And some will say maybe it's the Christ anointing, and everybody can have the Christ anointing once you believe. Catherine?
Yeah. What's interesting about our presentation is that we do have a different focus on some things. And I definitely encourage people in Brooklyn to support each other. But to me, it feels like a universal shift
Yes.
that has to happen where there's not just a supporting of each other economically, but it's also a self empowerment of taking those resources, investing in future for self and family, and also, like you said, purchasing things that are out of the community. So maybe rather than going downtown to the big shopping centers, we do need to get online or do some research and find places that we can support and have that energy circulating. I was speaking earlier about Nicholas Brooklyn
Mhm.
being a really good place because you go there and they have all these children books that are inspiring for children, and they have a lot of self-care and nutritional supplements and tonics, and there are a lot of these kinds of places. So maybe in this process of wanting to support and circulate back through the community, to do so in a fashion that's also nourishing and supportive of self, because we have to uplift on so many different planes with regard to the overall well-being of ourselves, our families, and our communities. And it may not be a discussion for that now, but we do need to expand beyond that into the body politic. And whatever community we are in, we have politicians that claim to represent us. We need to do research and find out who is truly representative, maybe share a little money there. And so I just think that overall, as we begin in this direction, it don't think of it as being done tomorrow or next week
No.
or even next year. I think that I think it was Kaba Hiawatha was saying we need a 99-year plan. When we look at this past election, the contentiousness and Project 2025, a lot of that stuff was conceived of 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And we have to, as a community, understand that if we don't begin to build into the future, then there may be no future for us.
Right. And I think that part of that is being able to unite. When you when you're in when you're not united, then it's more difficult to get things done. And it's also difficult if you're living in fear. We are not supposed to live by fear. We are creators. I used to believe God was outside of me, but God is within. And when you drill down, you tap into the Most High God that's within you, you can do all things. You can create because you are creators. We are gods. And so I tell my family that, of course, it's going to be difficult in the very genesis of this, but it is also it's doable. And it is being more disciplined than anything else. If you want a detergent, let's say, for instance, Tide detergent, okay, you can go to your own neighborhood and purchase it, maybe a little bit more, but you're disciplined. Why? Because you're allowing that Tide, you're allowing that your money to circulate within your community. You can go to the major department store, Home Depot, or whomever that's on that higher level in terms of having more money, and you can go to your neighborhood grocery store, uh, to the store that you're part of that community, and be disciplined about spending money in that store. So you can get the same product, but you may have to pay a little bit more until the store builds up their war chest. So it's for me, it's a part of being disciplined and being able to say, okay, family, this is what we're going to do. Because the more that we stay on the same frequency, it's not happening. It's not happening, family. So if you want take a look at your community. Look at it. Look at the past 10 years. Look at the past 20 years. Has it changed? Ask yourself that. Has it changed?
It's been gentrified.
Correct.
What also I wanted to point out that, this over the last holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday, there was a semi boycott of Walmart because they ended their DEI programs. And what that program was for these companies, it meant that they had made a commitment to buy a percentage of products from the diverse community and not just market products from the mainstream community. And I think we have to begin to think about how important it is, because those opportunities are not going to be there anymore. And one way that we can build that strength is to make the conscious decision to support those products coming out of the Black community, out of the whatever community you're from, really, however you identify. Some identify as African American, some identify as Black, some identify as Aboriginal, so it can be whatever community that is. Understand that we're all part of the same family, human family, and we should support each other despite how individuals may identify, because we recognize each other. Our families come from the same root, and we look alike, we sound alike, and we need to come together to think more constructively on behalf of all.
So you're talking about African Americans, correct?
I'm talking about, really, I find that it's a matter of self-identification.
Mm-hmm.
Some people identify as African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Some people identify as Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Some people identify as Aboriginal or Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Some people identify with their particular country.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that we can begin to understand that we're all part of the same family with the same roots, rooted in the same or similar history, rooted in the same or similar DNA, really. And I think that rather than be divided by those differences in identification, we should endeavor to understand that, some people we know as brothers and sisters and others as cousins, but we should understand that we're all, however distant in terms of where we happened to be born, are really all rooted in the same family of humanity in this diaspora. And not make those distinctions, but really just be supportive economically, but also psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. We can begin to rekindle and reconstruct that ancient knowledge that Kaba was talking about, because it flows through all of us. And I think that's the spirit we should take into the solstice, the harvest, the new year. However we celebrate, let's celebrate in a way that is true giving and not artifice. And I think for it to be real, for it to be true, is for us to give that gift with care and understanding and a support in a way that helps uplift everyone in some fashion.
I agree. I concur. What I think also is that we have to get away from the identities. You know, we blur the lines. You talked about humanity. You know, we are human beings. You know, we are, gods. And
At
so
least spirits.
spirits, yeah.
I'm
And-
not sure we've graduated to the God level. There's
Yeah.
too much violence in the world.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
The potential is there.
where we from what I have read, that the potential is there. It's just for our minds and spirit to get there. And some people have graduated to that.
Mhm.
But I'm not holding anybody who hasn't graduated to get there.
Yeah, because at
But-
the root, at the source, we're
Right.
all coming from that prime creator.
Correct. And the most important thing is that God is within you. Because when you're looking at a reflection, you're looking at the mirror of yourself, you're looking at the God that's within you. You're looking at I wouldn't say the Christ anointing. I won't say the Christ anointing because not a lot of people have that. But there is a Christ anointing that we can tap into. I was blessed to learn about Simeon Toko and the anointing that was placed on him. So what we are creators. And once we treat our brothers and sisters, because we are brothers and sisters no matter what, we're able to treat them well. We're able to grow. We're able to create, and we're able to do. One of the most things I think is that we get away from the label. Put a label on somebody. I'm this. I'm Jamaican. I'm Trinidadian. I'm American. I'm South America. I'm this. Get away from the labels, my friends. Labels will continue to be a blockade for your humanity. Look at people as, the God that's within them. And then you're able now to start to help and develop each other. Because we're here, I believe, placed on earth we're in place on earth to be isolated. We're placed on earth to be able to connect, to communicate, to be in one with each other. The world has got a little funky, but we have to think about the evolution of our children that's coming up in this world, and what you would want for them. And so we are here now, and we're given this leadership role to tell our people here in Brooklyn to start to work with each other, start to spend money in businesses that actually we want to see grow. There's when you look at the money that we spend here in America, in the United States of America, we spend close to $1 trillion. But when you look at our neighborhoods, it does not reflect that. And so that means that the money goes in our neighborhood and comes right back out. And what I'm saying to the family here, community cuts, Brooklynites, I'm saying Brooklynites because I'm 10 toes down here in Brooklyn, and I'm hoping that my counterparts that's around the country, be it Boston, California, be it Nevada, Phoenix, get 10 toes down and start to spend money and spend time in their community to develop their communities, because it ain't going to happen unless you do it. You have to be the engine to this whole new alignment, because we know 2025 can be, we see what direction that we're going in. And we see the, the handwriting on the wall. Now it's for you now to be able to pick up the baton and say, okay, I'm gonna pass it to my sister, I'm gonna pass it to my brother, I'm passing to my cousin. We have to develop this inner being that will keep our tribe in a good standing, because that's the one that we're going to go back to is our tribe, I believe.
Yeah, speaking of tribes, I would like to ask those of you who are listening or who come across our video or tune in to listen later that you please give a like to our videos. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. That's one of the ways that you can support each other, by acknowledging the effort and the work that's being done. So I would ask folks to do that. And for those of you who want to be beautiful for the holidays, give a call to Salon Leahing and they can help you out with that as well. And I think I'm ready to close. Do you have anything closing
I
thoughts?
want to give this number out to Brooklynites, or if you are coming to Brooklyn and you need to get, you need a beautician, you need a professional beautician or a barber, please come out to Salon Leaking. That's what you mentioned. But I want to give you the number as well, 718-230-4100, 718-230-4100. And they're located at 732 Washington Avenue. Doors are open. They are professionals. They've been in business over 2 decades. They know what they're doing, and they invited us in. And this is this is our tribe. We're a part of one tribe now. And so I thank the family for listening, and I want to say good night. God bless you, and have a great holiday season and a prosperous New Year's. God bless, family.